What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel where I will be doing another episode recap for today's Days of Our Lives, July 11, 2024. So today's episode was I would say 7 out of 10, decent episode. So we see in the first scene where Kayla is over at Doug and Julie's, right? And Kayla is speaking to Julie like she can't get a hold of Chad. You know, she left him a lot of voice messages, and Julie's like, well, Chad is out at the gravesite with Jack. You know, they're about to exhume Abigail's body. So Julie filled in Kayla about how Jack found out and how Jack feels about it, and she totally understands as a parent. You know, she would have feel the same way if somebody had to tell her at a city hall and tell her that somebody's gonna dig up one of her kids' graves. So she completely understands. Then she started talking about this all being a possibility because she was the one who pronounced Abigail dead, so she's not understanding how. But then she also is like, you know, she was brought back to life, Steve was brought back to life, so anything is possible. So yeah, that is where it is. So then we go back to this scene that was from yesterday's episode, right? We see Jack and Chad, and they're about to do the exhuming of Abigail's grave, right? Abigail's body, right? So the men that are there, they ask if they're ready. So you know, Jack was hesitant because he's scared. You know, they're both scared, they're anxious, they don't know what to expect at this point. You know, they don't know what is gonna happen when they open up that casket, right? So Jack was having second thoughts. He's like, maybe Clyde is just playing with us. Maybe, you know, we're about to desecrate her grave, and you know, what if it was all for nothing? So he's hesitant, but Chad calms him down, and Chad gets him to realize what it is, and is like, there could be a thread of hope that she's alive. So he said, okay, let's go with it. So then I'm not gonna hold you guys on this scene at all because it wasn't really much with Leo and Casey. I think his name is Casey. I didn't get it the last time. It's Casey, right? So they're about to have intimate time together in this hotel room, and they started making out, and then at some point Leo said, you know what, I can't do this, right? I don't know what kind of conviction came upon him, but he said he can't do it. So they stopped doing it, and he sent the guy going. So that was it with them, right? It wasn't a long scene. So then we see Marlena and Jada, right? Jada went over to see Marlena because she has some questions about everything that's happening with Bobby Everett, right? So Marlena is like, you know, she went to see him the other day, and he definitely loves to talk in riddles, love to stir up things. So Jada understands. Jada said that's the same thing that happened with her meeting with him, right? And she also asked Marlena her opinion on whether the alter personality of Everett, can he still have attachments or relationships with the outside world? And you know, because she's saying that Bobby still cares about her. Bobby just keeps spinning her, you know, because he wants to see her often. And she informs Marlena about the fact that Bobby may have some information on Lee's murder and who did it. So she's saying that he's probably using that for her to come and visit him often. So she's like saying, oh, he's trying to manipulate you here. So yeah, she's wondering the same thing too. Anyways, we go back to this scene, right? And the men open the grave, and Abigail's body is nowhere to be found. So they are dumbfounded. Chad and Jack are dumbfounded, like, how in the world, how could this happen, right? So they're wondering, you know, they have so many thoughts. Could Abigail really be alive? Was Abigail really buried there? Is this all a hoax? Did Clyde take the body and, you know, set this up? They have so many questions. They're dumbfounded. It's like they don't know what to think at this point. And then at some point, Rafe and Jada show up, and they got news about a grave disturbance. So they filled in Jada and Rafe about what happened, and then Rafe said, you know what, this is now a police investigation because it could be that the body was kidnapped. We don't know. We need to investigate. So they sent Chad and Jack away so that they can do further investigations, right? So we see Bobby, right? He's in his room reading as normal. Then Connie comes in, right? I don't know where security is. They allow any and anybody to just come in like that, especially if they're not related or family. But anyways, Connie comes in, and Connie's like, so you know a lot about Lee Shin, right? And he's like, do I know you? Because Connie overheard the detectives talking about Bobby knowing a lot more about Lee's murder and who did it, right? So Bobby's saying, like, I don't think we know each other. And she's like, yeah, but you know a lot about Lee's murder and who did it, right? So he's like, I'm a journalist, I do many cases. So I mean, he's just trying to play dumb at this point with her, but she figured it out that he was the one that knows more about her doing in terms of Lee's murder, right? So he's like, yes. So she said, so let me ask you this. What do you think that I was involved in Lee's murder? So he's like, I mean, I have an idea. You were covered in blood, and I heard you said, why did I do this, Lee? So you're very guilty to me. And she was like, you need to drop this right now. You need to drop this. Like, nobody can know about this. Anyways, people, we go over to Doug and Julie, right? And this is a heartwarming scene because we know that the actor for Doug is deceased, right? He's been deceased since January. So these were some of his final scenes, and especially with the love of his life, Julie, which is his real life wife. And it was really heartwarming to see them, right? But before we get to them, Kayla was still there. Chad and Jack come over and they inform them about what happened and tell them that Abigail's body is gone. So they're dumbfounded. They don't know what to believe at this point. So they leave, and then Kayla leaves, and we see Doug and Julie, right? And they, Julie's just worried about what's happening with Abigail, and she's just stressed. And Doug said, not know at this point because all of us are just really worried, right? She did ask him earlier about his thoughts on it, and he's like, he would be happy if Abigail was alive, right? He knows that strange things happen in this town all the time. But anyway, she just was just sad that Chad and Abigail don't have the length of time together like they had, and they really have a love story, guys. If you really look on YouTube and find out their love story, it's really beautiful. But yeah, they hug and they kiss, and it was really sweet and touching because we know that it's also Julie's birthday, and they decided to air this on her birthday, which was really sweet. So anyways, we see these two, right? And I like these two together because they're funny and they go together. Leo knows how to light up a room. But anyways, Leo come over and Leo's like, I called the office and, they said, it was closed, right? So I just needed to come over and like set an appointment with you for tomorrow. And she's like, what's happening? Are you okay? And he said, not really. And she's like, well, I'm alone. You can come in. Let's talk. So he tells her about this guy that he meets, and then he said he turned him away. He's just not ready. And she's like, this has probably to do with you and healing, getting over Dimitri, right? And he's like, probably I'm not over Dimitri. Maybe I'll not find another guy. Maybe I'll be straight. And she was like, no, you will find somebody soon. So anyways, he said he got to go because he has to watch this drag race thing. So she's like, oh, that thing you told me about, I'm alone right now. You can come out, you can watch the show. We can watch the show together. So he's like, really? And so they started to watch it, and he described it to her. It was a really fun scene. So then we go back to Jada and Rafe, right? They're still at the graveside, and they're theorizing what could have happened to Abigail. Could it be a hoax? Could it be Clyde behind it? Did he steal the body? Could Abigail be possibly alive? So Rafe is like looking at all the possibilities because a lot of people come back from the dead all the time in Salem, right? So they're theorizing what could have possibly happened. And then Rafe made this snide remark, which I am with Jada on this, and he's like, maybe you need to go talk to Bobby and see if he knows who took Abigail's body. So she was like, really? You have to come up with that? And he's like, I'm sorry, that was insensitive. So she said, you know what, we'll plan to see him to find out more about Lee's case. And he's like, my opinion on it already. And she said, well, she gotta do what she gotta do, right? So we move on to the next scene, right? We see Chad and Jack at the pub, right? And they're still wrapping their minds about everything. And, Jack is probably thinking that, Clyde is probably behind this whole thing. And Abigail probably not alive. And then Chad is like, maybe she is. Look at this video. Like, we got to find this woman and get some answers. So yeah, that's what they're about to do. Find out who's this woman. So we go back to Connie and Bobby, right? And Bobby is like, why would he even not tell the truth to Jada, right? He likes seeing her, right? Because he still wants her back. So she's like, oh, you got the hots for her. Do you know that she's still with the hunky commissioner, Rafe? And he doesn't like that idea, but it's the fact. People in the town know that. So she's like, she's not coming to you. She's going home to him all the time. So at this point, why do you care? Like, why you want to do this, right? Because he's just planning to just keep on stringing her along, just so that he can see her. That was the whole point, right? Instead of directly telling her who was responsible for Lee's murder case. So Connie is saying, you know what? Let's make a deal, right? I will keep the commissioner busy so that you can have more time with Jada. So, he's crazy about Jada. And, Connie's desperate for nobody to know that she killed Lee. But let's see, folks. Anyways, that was it, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. I apologize for, the delays in the videos. YouTube is not working with me at all. They are not uploading my videos in time. I sincerely apologize for that, but hopefully next week it will be better. I hope you guys stay safe. Have a great weekend. Bye.